Hi there! Americans certainly have a wrong attitude towards sex, as 25% of American adults have an incurable sexually transmitted disease, according to statisticbrain.com. In American society, men who are virgins are ridiculed and looked down upon by other men as far inferior. Even women look down on them. However, that's completely unwarranted. Christianity teaches that it's sinful to have any sex before marriage, and there's no evidence that married people are any better than singles. Besides, the greatest man who ever lived, Jesus Christ, never had sex. Secondly, there is a double standard. Women are not looked down upon or ridiculed for being virgins. Also, numerous religious women boast about their virginity, declaring that they have maintained purity. First, that is false, unless they have gone without sinning entirely. And there are many different types of sin. Secondly, that is offensive to women who lost their virginity through rape. Thirdly, it's not much of an achievement for women to go without sex because women do not have a sex drive. See my videos on sex drive. Women typically maintain perpetual virginity because they have a psychological problem instead of being holier than thou. Most men who are virgins are that way because they are unfairly condemned by women's psychotic standards and are unwilling to manipulate women into sex or waste their money on prostitutes. See my video on prostitution. There is another designation called celibacy, which means going without sex for a very long time. All virgins are celibate, while most celibates have had sex sometime in their life. Now, we cannot tell if someone is a virgin, celibate, or currently sexually active unless they tell us. And we cannot know the number or gender of the sex partner someone has had unless they tell us. And it is evident that sexual experience has very little impact on a person's personality. They are always the same person. A husband cannot even know for certain whether or not his wife is a virgin on her wedding night. Hymens are frequently broken from vigorous physical activity because many women today are very athletic. And hymens can be intact if a woman's sex life was gentle. And now surgeons can create an artificial hymen to mimic virginity. Male virginity was also valued in ancient times. Not now, but in ancient times. Christian scripture, Revelation 14:1-4, mentions a special group of men in heaven, they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. The most likely men to have never had sex are the severely physically and mentally handicapped. Therefore, judging men based on their degree of sexual experience is offensive, as we should be supporting and uplifting the handicapped, not cutting them down. Besides, Genghis Khan, one of the most evil men in history, was one of the most sexually dominant. For long detailed works by early church fathers which support virginity, read St. Jerome's work against Jovianus and Methodius' Banquet of the 10 Virgins. They are found on the internet. For non-Christian perspectives of virginity that are empathetic, see the movies The Last American Virgin and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. There is certainly an advantage for men to be celibate, that is, not being sexually active or involved with anyone. According to statisticbrain.com, 84% of women admitted to using sex to manipulate their man. Many women withhold sex when their man says or does something they don't like, or reward their man with sex when he says or does something he doesn't mean or has no interest in. Many men are treated like yo-yos who then lose their personality and principles. Regardless, we must stop focusing upon sex, whether being obsessed with sex or having an irrational phobia against the human body. Either way is bad. Instead, we must focus upon making the world a better place for all of God's creatures in all aspects of life.